You can go your own way.
Isn't Roy on one over?
Go your own way.
I like that song. That's
You
more
can
my
call it another lonely day.
metal rock.
Thank you. What's happening, G-Force?
Roy said he's retiring in a year.
From everything?
Just everything.
Yeah, he says that all the time.
He said when he hits 55.
So I'm glad you came in.
Why, what's up? What's up, Gary?
Here he is. She said that you're retiring in a year from everything.
Yeah.
Jill, see, don't tell Jill anything.
Private conversation.
Jill.
In the green room.
You say to Jill, you're going to...
No, when we were walking down, it wasn't in the green room, Gary. We were walking down.
Jill just can't stop telling me.
Are we the problem?
There's still cameras.
Yeah, it's not you, it's me.
Good.
That's a cup of tea.
Why?
You didn't reply to his. Oh, it's.
Because I know I've seen him today.
I'm at a boxing match. Just a charity one.
Feeling Jill wouldn't be about. I just had a feeling.
Who's the boxing match?
It's a charity boxing match.
Lovely.
Yeah.
What charity for like white collar thing?
I think it's like the fire brigade versus the police or something.
I get it. All right, Jill.
No, Shelley's sister's fighting in it.
Oh,
She's a
she's a
firefighter, yeah. So she used to play football, obviously, for like England and everything. Now she's a firefighter, so she's fighting.
Nice.
Do you do boxing?
I'm
No.
all right, I think, for now.
No, there's a big. No, I do a bit of training, but there's a big. There's a big thing in Liverpool actually in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, there's plenty of flights in Liverpool.
Yeah, I think somebody messaged us about
Yeah,
that.
like ex-pros fighting each other.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
I don't think I would.
We had a fight a few months ago. There was a couple of fighters. Did Jody Morris fight someone?
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing.
Jody
There's one
fought,
in
was it
Liverpool.
David Bentley?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
won?
Jody.
Jody, man, Jody. I was with Jody
But my mate
yesterday.
Bradley Orr's fighting. Who's he fighting? I don't know who's fighting. Chris
I was with Jody
Iwalumo, I think,
yesterday.
or no, or
He's
something
like
like
Jody.
that.
I'm sure I got an invite to
He's
that,
just a good
actually.
guy, bro. He's a really good guy.
If you could choose one person to fight,
No.
who would
He
you
looks
fight?
like you, he looks good. What's up, gal? You look...
I don't know.
pensive.
I'm trying to think. How many people do you think would tune in if me and you fought live
a lot.
on
Bro,
Sky
you should
Sports?
do it for charity.
A lot.
Let me do it.
Yeah.
Man,
How many people?
honestly,
I think
'cause
quite a few
you've
people.
done a bit, haven't you? You've done, I saw you with Tony Bellew, right? Doing a bit.
Yeah, so people fucking got this thing I'm into. But I go to boxing gym. I don't boxing, so I do like circuits or something like that. But my mate was in there yesterday, Bradley Orr, ex-pro. So he was starting his training for this. The guy who's organised, I'm sure, was he a young keeper at Arsenal, Graham Stack?
Yeah, Graham Stack.
So he's like he sort of a charity, obviously. But that was the one you're talking about, I think, was in London.
Yes.
So they brought it to Liverpool. So Brad, I did obviously trying to get different fighters and people involved.
Are you two going to get involved, or...
No, but that wouldn't be a fair contest. You'd struggle now, obviously.
No, but
No, but
You would, you know, he's done a little bit.
Yeah, but you're underestimating Gary's natural power.
I'm not, no.
You know what I mean? Like, Jamie...
He's just a lump, innit?
He's not a lump.
No, he's like his calves are big.
Everything about him's just big, right?
He'd just be holding on to you. He'd be holding on to you.
Yeah, just holding on to
He'll
you.
wear
just
you down, but you only
down.
need a couple of body... Give Jamie a couple of real body shots. Whack!
Yeah, but you're at Barry's gym every morning.
No, I thought but I don't box. I've said that on my air before. I've never had a fight in my life.
You're never jabbed in that girl.
That's something you're proud of, isn't it?
Yeah, I did. Do you know something?
should
I'm
be.
surprised no one's ever hit me. Stick to Football is brought to you by Arm Clothing.
Look what Mourinho's done. Look what we've seen Conte do when they do their rants, talking about how they've got no ambition. They've got those managers thinking, right, we put those in and let's leave it.
The idea that Spurs could get dragged into a relegation zone and potentially go down would be catastrophic, and I think they just can't take that risk anymore.
Thomas Frank's just been sacked.
Our guest this week is Ange Postecoglou.
Should we get him in?
Ange, in you come. Ange, in you come. Got timing, Ange.
Timing, eh?
It's a curious club, Tottenham, you know. It's made a major pivot at the end of last year, not just with me, but with Daniel leaving as well. You've got to understand there's going to be some instability there.
Is there almost a lack of belief that you can't go and do something?
100% there is, yeah, absolutely. And that was the thing I was trying to break. Spursy, I mean, that's what it was all
Is that
about.
a thing? You're inside the building.
You see what would be a sort of quite mundane block or a clearance from a corner,
course, high
and there is
fives.
4 high fives from each player. If you're doing this and you've got a corner to defend, that is not right.
They throw it to the goalie, and you just see all the West Ham players just running back.
back.
The ball's there. They're just all running back to the edge of the box. I'm screaming at the top.
Where you going?
Right, we had some football last night.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to ask you when you go, Cole Palmer's missed. Have you ever missed one like that?
No.
Thanks.
Never?
Not like that.
Well, you think
it's
like-
not that close.
Oh, I
Was
felt
that a
sorry
really
for him.
bad one, that?
I think
I
because of
thought it
because of how
was.
close it is, the only thing I would say to it, you know, because I know Roy's got his what's it called? His opinion on goal scorers. As soon as you're talking about goals, you go to the striker or something. Roy's got the ump about that. But the thing with it is that for me as a striker, you're watching that even if you're a yard out because that can happen. So a striker, he might come in just think, this is a goal, I'm so close, but and it's gone over and he can't believe. Did you see him? He could not believe.
Think he's relaxed?
Absolutely relaxed. You don't miss that if you just punch it in the goal.
But that's his attitude, isn't it? And he's not a striker, is he?
No. That's the thing.
He's a brilliant player, but he's not a striker.
But the thing is, with strikers, this is why I can confidently say, just that Harry Kane never misses that.
Mm-hmm.
Would never miss that. Robbie Fowler never missed that. You don't miss
is
that.
it a focus,
It's
concentration
absolute focusing
thing,
because it's coming. He can see everything. The goalie's not there. It's just coming across. He's thinking he's just going to go like that and it's gone in. But that is why you
casual,
don't do it. Absolutely too casual. And that is why that can happen.
Saying that, he looks sharp though, doesn't he? I know that's miss.
Yes.
He's looking like...
Yeah. He's getting to it. I think Liam's done something. He's got him going.
Oh, he's getting his fitness back up.
Exactly,
He's playing.
yeah.
But he could be peaking right at
Perfect
back to
time for
England
himself,
stuff in the
yeah.
World Cup.
He makes a game look so easy. Like the first goal, just receiving in the pocket, one touch, bang,
brilliant.
through.
He is
So
brilliant
good.
to watch.
Beautiful way the way he glides, the way he moves.
If he's at his best, yeah, I think it's hard to leave him out for England.
But Roy, I think, to be fair, when I hear you talk about Cole Palmer, because you're obviously, to be fair, you set a high bar for players and you don't give too much candy to even the greatest players sometimes. But with him, I always feel like you sort of like, there's an admiration that's like,
There is.
a
bit of jealousy towards him because of his attitude. He's dead, again, the opposite to when I played. So when I see players like playing with that, what Jill just said, that makes the game look so easy. He plays like he's playing in the street, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. Now that can backfire a little bit, I'm sure, with certain managers, or maybe with Pep. He's probably thought I need a bit more concentration and he's still young and learning the game or missing a chance like that. But when he's at it,
it's just like you can imagine when he's younger, because to keep that kind of attitude towards football, and you're a professional playing with that kind of like, he's got that. You can imagine when he was younger. This is probably why they.
That's why I could see Pep getting frustrated with that a little bit.
Yeah, but you got to let him go.
Did you see the next time he got the ball after the miss? You know when you know someone's like, someone you've all playing, you've made a mistake and you want to make up for it, but you're not good enough, are you? What can you do with the ball? You could see in his head, I'm going to do something here. And he got a foul right on the edge. He just sort of got it and he just went, right, I'm off. And he just went on this little, remember the free kick, right? The last kick of the game, that was it. But he got it. Yeah. But I could just see his mentality was like, I've got to do something here. I've got to, you know what I mean? He got a dangerous free kick.
I think that mentality, I think he believes whatever team he's playing for, even probably when he's at Man City and he wasn't getting that many games, I know he was a kid, probably thinks I'm the best player in this team.
He's got that energy.
And I like that about him.
He's got that energy.
Obviously, there's always a fine line between confidence and cockiness. But I think when he's at his best, he does then back it up. I just enjoy watching him playing. A bit like Scholes. These lads who kind of, they make the game look easy.
Do you know the player who makes me feel like that every time I watch him is Bernardo Silva?
Yeah.
I watch Bernardo Silva and he absolutely mesmerises me how he keeps the ball in tight areas against players that are like 6'1" or 6'2", and he gets out of it and wriggles out of it. And then he pops up on the right wing, and then all of a sudden he's like, he's at the edge of the box. And
you almost don't know what position he plays.
No.
Yeah. He's just
everywhere.
I always worry about him when he's in midfield. I always think that physicality will cost, and I think sometimes it does cost him the odd time. But the other stuff he does, again, focus on what he's doing. Even the game against Liverpool is brilliant Sunday.
To get in the box like that. That was
his instinct for that goal, and then for the little ball for that, it leads to the penalty. Again, you have to admire that. Brilliant.
Gary, your commentary was so on point. You were like, I think they need a bit more from Haaland and Silva, and then literally he heads it and then Silva puts it in.
Yeah, but
it was like literally to the point.
To be fair, I just felt that like it was growing away from. I felt like it was like just all disappearing, and like I thought actually Pep Guardiola's not going to win a league 2 years on the bounce.
I still don't think he will.
No, I don't think he will. But my point is it going to drift towards an innocuous sort of like just 2 years of like Pep just not being anywhere near it? I thought he's going to be out of a title. I'm not saying he's necessarily backing it now, but that would be.
We all watch loads of football. Why are we surprised that happened? You know, when you have players like Haaland on the pitch, something can happen. You can be watching a game and go, these teams, they're awful and a 70-yard, and then they pop up with a few big moments. We kind of done it at United, Arsenal have done it at Liverpool, particularly over the years. You find moments, that's what players do. So we're like, what a win, but why are we that surprised? Because we see so many games.
Yeah. The thing with Haaland, watching him though, and listen, I think you said at the end of the game, he turns up in the big moments, as in like he gets the assist, he scores a penalty. But I just feel like every time I watch him in a big game, and I love Haaland, I've said, for me, he's probably the best goal scorer we've probably ever seen in English football. He'll, you know, games to goals ratio.
Yeah.
But whenever I see him up against, like, I think, when you think of the best defenders in the world, so let's say Van Dijk, every time he's up against Van Dijk, it feels almost too easy for Van Dijk than it should be, considering who he's up against. Or I see him against Inter Milan in the Champions League final, Bastoni or someone, or Rudiger a couple of times for Real Madrid, you know, big chat. And I'm just...
But has he got that nastiness, Jim, like in his makeup? Because he's obviously where he's from. Yeah. Sometimes the Scandinavians aren't... I'd love to see him as well have a go with somebody physically, because he's 6'2", 6'3". Just knock a few people over and stand over him.
We were obviously watching from the box. It was almost like he was shaking hands with Van Dijk and almost getting him up. You know, and do you know what I mean?
I was getting angry with him.
Why?
As the game went on. The reason I sort of said they've got to step up now was because I was getting angry with the fact that
Thomas Frank's just been sacked.
Oh wow.
No.
Kieran, you just dropped a Grim Reaper out over my shoulder like that as well, frightened me.
Is he definitely on just Instagram?
You know something? You know what I was just going to say about Van Dijk? I think we should change our tact here a bit now.
What?
Cheers, Cam.
Maybe Thomas Frank?
Let's do Thomas Frank and come back.
Can I just say quickly about Haaland, though? I'm glad that they kept him on, because usually if strikers aren't playing... Yeah, but sometimes they take them off, don't they? And then them big moments...
Mikey was on a
Mikey didn't want to start him.
What? He didn't
did he not?
For what? You not start Haaland?
Because the game before, they'd looked okay with like a split striker.
Oh my gosh. Tell him to come...
And then he wanted them to bring him off, and then... But he was...
What?
Yeah.
You're joking. You never take a player like that off.
No, but you used to see you get big goals 86th, 87th minute, whereas now they take strikers off if they're not doing well.
He stick you off.
No, he didn't.
Half time.
He didn't.
This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Arm Clothing. This was going to be our big section today.
Was it?
Tottenham, to be fair.
Well, it's coming.
And its title of the section was Could Spurs Get Relegated? They're currently sat... I mean, obviously the Manchester United goal last night was helpful to them.
Yeah, massively. 5
goals, but I mean, they've sacked Thomas Frank. I'm
not surprised.
I'm not surprised, but to be fair...
I know, but the initial reaction should be, whatever a football point of view, not a manager losing his job like that.
Yeah.
He's still new to the club. From that, I know we'll analyse it, but
Bless you.
it's not good, man. It's not good for these managers. I know, again, I go back to, you're shaking hands with the devil, you go into certain clubs, you know, if you're going through a sticky patch, you just know they won't stick with you. Imagine going into a job, you know, any sort of difficult spell you're going to have, you're gone.
You know what, as well, right? You could see, it's funny because, like, you're thinking like they've got 12 days before the next game. You're thinking if they're going to do something, probably do it now, or they're going to wait till, because the next game's the North London derby.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, is he going to give him the time to get it right so maybe they can beat Arsenal and then like have a little bit of a run, or they're going to sack him now? I didn't think they'd sack him now, but I think... You know, they have to move now. They have to.
I always think when stadium's empty, I always think, to be fair, the billionaire owners look at it, money. And that is a clear, you're struggling.
Yeah.
I did the Spurs-Chelsea game very early in the season, and I was sort of worried for, I don't know Thomas Frank, but it just, something about it didn't feel right. The fans and the way they were trying to go about it and playing, it's like a derby game. And Thomas Frank, remember at Brentford, no matter what the game, they'd almost do a lap of one. It was almost like, delighted to be in the Premier League. The fans and the team, everyone's together. And he walked around the side of the pitch, and I was watching him, because you stay a bit longer on the commentary, and I was watching him. He was going around clapping the fans, and it was like, he almost thought he was back at Brentford, and it was like the fans were like lunatics. The way they played, it was Chelsea. I was thinking, no, this is different. You can almost feel it being a bit different. And the problem he's had is Daniel Levy employed him. Who left straight away, so that the people in charge are not there. That was Daniel Levy.
I know, but Vinay came in from Arsenal, this sort of wonder CEO that was supposed to be the one that basically Daniel was passing over sort of what would be power to. Whether that happened or not, we don't know. But he sat there, Vinay, to be fair, for I don't know how long. I don't know the guy, but he's meant to be very well thought of at Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal, done so much.
He goes to Tottenham, and... Look,
but there'd be pressure on him then going, people would be looking at new CEOs going, ex-Arsenal, have you got the power and the strength to get rid of this manager? Spurs fans might be looking at him a little bit, but you go back to it, the certain manager going, but what happens to a little bit of going, let's get through this sticky patch?
You know, the thing is, Roy, there's no way.
I know the home form's been poor.
As an Arsenal guy, as an Arsenal guy going in there and them start, it doesn't help Thomas. It doesn't help him at all.
I thought they
I thought it was
started well
strange
against
appointment.
Man United. If they'd kept 11 on the pitch, I actually thought they were playing well. But then
We'll
he's
get to
been
him.
let down, hasn't he?
Yeah, we'll get
really.
to him. I mean, look, I think the one thing I would say is Thomas Frank, to be fair, Roy's right, manager's lost his job, and to be fair, I think we all like Thomas Frank. What he did at Brentford, interviewing him, a good guy. But when he walks out of that door today, there are a number of managers who have walked out that door in the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. The likes of Mourinho, Conte, Nuno, Ange.
Yeah.
Obviously now him. These are, they're not all mugs, these guys. Some of these are serial winners. Conte's gone over to Italy, Mourinho's doing things. That club, what is wrong with that football club? Because forget the Spursy stuff, the flaky stuff. Let's seriously talk about the fact that this football club is, it won obviously it won a Europa League last year, so it won a trophy for the first time in 40 odd years, 50 years. But it's a shocker of a performer. It's a shocker of a performer when it comes to Premier League, when it comes to only Pochettino, really, for a couple of years.
Harry Redknapp had a little spell.
Harry Redknapp,
top
10 years before
Pochettino's
that.
the one they should have really backed at that stage when he finished second. And
Are they one of the big
champion,
spenders? They spend a lot of money as well, don't
Not as much as the rest, but they do spend, to be fair, in line with clubs that do better.
What do you do in terms of spend? If you look at the net spend, they'll be right, probably above Liverpool, say, over the last 5, 10 years or what. So it's the wages. And when you look at a lot of people who look at the money and wages, they actually go for your wage bill. Your wage bill, actually more than your transfer spend, almost determines a little bit where the league is, I suppose. And Tottenham are just, they don't pay. That was under Daniel Levy. Now, we can say he runs the club fantastically well, training ground, stadium, I get all that. But they don't pay the type of wages that the other players...
Well, you go back to when we all played against Spurs, but I know from a football point of view, you always felt... Again, there's something missing at that football club.
Yeah. But what is it?
I think there's a softness, no doubt, on the pitch and off it and whatever goes on in the building. And we've heard they've obviously got a magnificent stadium. They've got an amazing training ground. So from the outside looking in, you go, from a business point of view, it's a brilliant football club. But in terms of having a proper DNA and turning up week in, week out and putting a shift in. And Jill, you said, they were a bit unlucky last week, but they still lost the game and it's self-inflicted. And their home form going back to last season, it's not good. But Andy, you don't know about these managers now, but when whoever goes in next, again, you're shaking hands with the devil because you're going to, and as soon as you go into Spurs, the next manager goes to Spurs, don't be talking about projects. You just have to survive for a year or two. Because as soon as you get through a difficult spell, you're guaranteed to be sacked at Spurs. Maybe years ago we didn't think that with Spurs. You think, well, they might give somebody a couple of years anyway. But Spurs are as bad as anybody.
No one ever believes they'll win, though, do they? I don't ever believe they'll... I want to say win. I mean, they'll be a big team. So if you think of, say for years, Arsenal and Spurs, for me, Arsenal are a bigger club than Spurs, but for a good few years, it was almost like you were both coming sort of fourth and fifth. Yeah. Poch was there and Arteta was starting. But you do think, if Arsenal get this right, they could win the league or they're getting better each year. I would never think that about Spurs, but what's the difference? Same similar size clubs, stadiums.
Leicester year, you'd have thought that was their biggest chance.
I think it's got to be the ownership. It's got to be the ownership because look, to be fair, what you can say is that Manchester City have brought owners in and they've become successful. Chelsea have brought owners in and become successful. Blackburn brought owners in and became successful. Clubs have brought owners in and become successful.
Yeah, but they're owners who just go and just absolutely blow everyone out the water.
No, but my point
in terms of spending.
But Tottenham, to be fair to them, with what they have, if they were to sell to a different set of ownership, when you have sustained failure, when big money's been spent for a long time, you have to then look at the top. You can't go anywhere else then. You can't keep looking at the players and the manager. You've got to look at something different if you've got repeated failure time and time again.
That's on the pitch, don't have, isn't it? Because off it, successful.
Absolutely.
So for the people who own Spurs will say, as business people, Spurs is just part of the bigger picture. They will say we got the best stadium, we make lots of money from concerts and NFL. So, so that's what they bought the club for, I think, from a business point of view. They'll see that as success.
But now we must look at the fact that they do need a change of ownership to become successful, because obviously you've seen that this ownership are not going to bring success. They're not. I think.
But why would they sell it if they see it as a successful business?
Look, I think there comes a point where
you do that now, though, isn't it? Aren't we in the Newcastle situation where? And listen, I think Tottenham bring more money into the club because of the stadium, and I get that. But this idea of bringing some rich guy in. Are you allowed to do that now with PSL?
Well, maybe
look at Newcastle; they just hit a glass ceiling.
But they have rich guys in there now. What's another rich guy?
I think is it more decision making?
No, but I think, are we not talking just? We're talking about money. I agree with you, but we're talking about mentality here, aren't we? As well.
Well, the thing is, as well, Gal, you have to look as well. When you look at to be able to produce a Harry Kane, right? And Harry Kane being like arguably, I think our greatest goal scorer. He's proven that at level. And for the football club and the owners to not recognise we need to build something around this striker because this guy will deliver, and they didn't do that all those years to the point, then they're never. I don't think they're ever going to do anything if they can't do it when they've got someone like him who's come through the ranks, bro.
What have Spurs won in the last 50 years? Last 50 years?
No, they've not won that.
Obviously,
the
FA
Europa
Cup.
League.
I've got back now. It's for obviously the 80s, FA Cups.
Yeah, it's once you get
Have they won 5? Would it be 5 trophies?
Yeah, so once you get out of the early 80s, so they win the UEFA Cup in 1984,
Right.
they challenge for the title with Everton in 85, and then they get to the Cup final 87, they lose that against Coventry.
See the big
So,
Forest, isn't it?
so once you get out of the mid 80s, that's when I first started watching football. So
So it's a
talking 40 years.
So it's a 5, 6. So why we're going to sit here and discuss why Spurs are, in disarray? You go, well, they've actually only won 5. Is it roughly? Is it 5, 6 trophies in 50?
You know what?
Yeah.
Can we find out?
You get the early 80s out of
Right.
the way.
Okay. So that's.
Yeah.
They won the league.
That's not a big
61, didn't they? They won the
expectation.
league in 60. We're going
But how far back do you want to go?
No, but you're talking a good period of time there, aren't you? You're
It's a
talking like
long
40, almost 40.
This is where you go back to what you class as a big club or a successful club. Is it the revenue? Is it the stadium? Is it, or is it
trophies.
actually getting your hands on a trophy?
It's all of those things, Roy, to be fair.
well,
it's history,
is it-
it's stadium,
that's all part
it's
of the
fan
package.
base, but it's also trophies. It's
Yeah, but
also
we shouldn't be
trophies.
sitting there scratching heads going, Spurs, they've not done anything the last few years ago. They've not done anything for the last...
40 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. It's
That's
sustained,
it's
it's
the owners,
sustained
guys.
failure.
You've said it yourself. It's the owners. It's the owners haven't got the ambition of Abramovich. Abramovich wants to win. If you like, I know our owners. They want to win. They've got people they've got the franchises that win. They want to win. I don't know if Spurs owners want to win.
Where does the expectation come from then? If Roy's saying obviously they haven't
Well,
won
the
for
history of like, when
so
you say
long.
the first
But is that more of
team
the
to
way they
win-
play, though, and the characters they've had?
Yeah, but
It's always like they're a bit way.
I think they won the double. The first team to win the double.
Yeah,
I think they're the first English team to win a European trophy. So Spurs are they had a
And they're a massive
They got a huge
history.
history.
I agree with you. I'm a
But what
Spurs fan. I followed Spurs when I was a kid. Yeah, of course.
It's funny. A few years ago, James said to me, "Who's the bigger club, Tottenham or Chelsea?" I said Tottenham. Now, in my head, but then the more I thought about it, I thought it's wrong. Chelsea win trophies, and what I mean by that, when I was a kid, Tottenham were huge, and Chelsea were a team who sometimes might actually get relegated.
Yeah.
But Tottenham, for me, were one of the big 5.
Yeah.
But that's because I was born in 1978, start watching football mid-80s. Tottenham, for me, are a massive club. Chelsea are just a team in the first division. But if you're someone who's like 25, 30, now you're like, as Roy said, how can you class Tottenham as a
There's always a good-
win a trophy?
Yeah.
When any, Chelsea,
But I
win
think
any-
our mistake is when we talk about Spurs or Spurs last weekend, you're going, there's a nice ring to it. You always think Spurs will bring something to the party.
Yeah.
But they'll be going home by themselves, you know what I mean? It's one of them ones. You're not you know what I mean?
They talk all night
Yeah,
on their own.
yeah.
Man,
I
you
always
going home
look
with 300
forward. I look forward to the
don't, yeah.
Tottenham games, though. I do like when
That's
it was
my point.
Son,
We all like
Kane,
kind of-
Maddison.
Yeah, but then you look at
you know
Joe,
what I mean?
and like, for instance, you look at them against Burnley, like with Romero. What's he doing, the captain? And what he's doing, coming out speaking like he is. Let's set an
I
example. on the
wanted
pitch.
to get onto him.
You know something? I said instantly, as soon as they done that, I sort of said, fine him, do something, say something, Thomas.
Yeah.
terrified, aren't they?
Do you know something? I was thinking, he looks, and the way he walked off when he got sent off made me even more angry. It's like he didn't care.
But you're on about Spurs. What do Spurs fans want? When you watch Spurs, the first thing they always say, don't most Spurs fans say, we want to play a lovely style of football. A lot will argue that, go, no, we want to win trophies as well. But there is that first thing, the priority with Spurs is, when they've got Mourinho and people like that, go, we play a certain style of football.
But I'm happy with that.
Happy with what?
You can play beautiful football and great football, entertaining football, and win. Manchester City,
I agree with you.
United, Liverpool's football under Klopp. It's great football. So I think this idea that fans should either have to accept crap football and win, or if you play entertaining football, you might not win. They should expect. Spurs fans should expect great football and to be successful.
I think that was probably something years ago where you'd always look at them and be a bit soft. They weren't tough enough to win the league.
Yeah.
But I think, and we've had this debate with Man United a few weeks ago in terms of DNA, but I think the DNA of most top clubs now is almost to play good football or pass, and the game's more technical now. But something we spoke about on Monday Night Football, if you look at probably, let's say, the last 10 years of the Premier League, when we take these managers, and I think we might have mentioned it on here, at the bottom of the Premier League, they're pragmatic, difficult to beat, maybe a little bit direct, rely on set pieces. Can they make that jump to a club to play maybe a little bit more football? And so often in the Premier League, it hasn't worked. Even like Moyes going to United, Roy Hodgson to Liverpool, they play a certain style. And it's not criticism of them, by the way. I'm just thinking of other managers now. We've Nuno going to Tottenham. doesn't quite work. Big Sam going to Newcastle.
Thomas
Because
Frank would have
they
been
always
all right,
say, if I have a better style of player, I'll play that type of football. But it doesn't quite
When
work.
you heard that Thomas Frank was going to talk, how did you feel? Did you feel the same way there?
No, because you know what,
I thought that was
Righty?
good.
What I've just said there, the more I was thinking of sort of Thomas Frank, the more it got me thinking about other managers. Because Thomas Frank was one of those managers, I don't think you'd ever labelled him long ball at Brentford. You'd almost say, he's got a good mix in some ways when you watch Brentford, but they couldn't really transform it.
If you're not playing good football, though, you've got to be hard to beat, don't you? And I think Tottenham fans want a plan B sometimes. It's like the managers just go with this.
I definitely think those Spurs fans, if they were winning most weeks but not playing long balls, you're on about. I don't think they'd be happy.
No,
I
they
still
wouldn't
think
be.
Spurs fans still want to have that
we're not playing
element of
like the Glen Otherway and all that.
And going back
I
to
don't think a lot of clubs are now, though. You know, even now, even with Liverpool with Slot, he had like a run of not losing, not winning all the time, but the fans are going bananas about like it's a bit like slow and turgid, the football, pragmatic.
I don't get that. With Liverpool, I mean, there's been a couple of games, but I don't get that with Liverpool at all, that criticism of this slow, poor football. But going back to...
I've watched all the games.
I have watched a lot of them, Bo. And,
Not all of them.
I lost a lot of them. I don't think his football's turgid. I just don't think it at all.
I'm just watching the Man City game, which is completely different.
Oh, my goodness. Going back to...
They're back together.
I interviewed Daniel Levy in the summer, and he was talking about when he brought in Nuno, and then he brought in, obviously, Mourinho and Conte, and he actually said that basically it was to bring in cold-hearted, ruthless killers who would win for the club. Because that was his attempt at saying, look, we get the good football bit. We've tried that for years. We played great football under Harry, great football under Pochettino and other managers. Yeah. However, we need now serial winners in the football club. And that experiment failed for them.
Massively. From Daniel Levy's point of view,
No, what I'm saying is, but the thinking behind it at the time, you couldn't argue with the thinking of bringing these types of managers in.
Yeah, but only if you're going to back them, because those same managers were constantly talking about not being backed, and the attitude of the people upstairs, and the fact that they don't want. Look what Mourinho's done. Look what we've seen Conte do when they do their rants, talking about how they've got no ambition. They've got those managers thinking, right, we put those in and let's leave it.
But righty, just on that though, I don't believe for 1 minute Daniel Levy would have said to Jose or to Antonio Conte on the way in, by the way, we're going to let you spend 250 million a year here. They will have known the circumstance. He won't have lied to them and said there's like a checkbook that's basically...
There must have been some promises of something to get those managers to come, though, Gary.
I think the score at Tottenham. They're not going to spend like Chelsea.
They sacked Mourinho a week before the cup final, was it? The cup final.
Yeah, but when you're getting Mourinho or Conte, you're thinking that they're going to go to that next place. That's why when I was excited I think, oh my God, Mourinho at Tottenham. The first thing I thought, oh shit, Arsenal, Tottenham. They're going to. That's the first I'm thinking, because they've got the right manager. So you're thinking, if you've got the right manager, then when we saw what he's done at Chelsea, you're going to back this manager because he'll do it.
This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Arm Clothing. Where do Tottenham go from here now in terms of right now? Because who's available? Who are they going to get? Is it a stopgap? Is it a stopgap just to get them to the end?
I think they just need to get out of this relegation. Like, they don't want to get into this relegation battle, do they? They just need someone to come in to win games till the end of the season.
United weren't in danger of going down, but they needed
Carrick in the summer.
Carrick's safe. He's got a job.
United weren't in danger of going down. United quite
for Spurs. Hey, he played for Spurs.
You know something?
Carrick, give him the job. He knows everybody.
Right, United said basically that they wanted a bridge to the end of the season, right? And they appointed Michael Carrick, and they're quite clear about that at the time. What do Tottenham do? Do they do the same and appoint someone who's basically knows the club? Who's there?
But they're still in Europe, aren't they?
Yeah, but
so they're still competing to try.
Roy, they've sacked the manager because of that. They've won 2 in 17 in the league.
What about Ollie? Ollie's going to social.
Roy, ring Ollie now.
Get Ollie on.
What he's doing.
So let's do it seriously.
No, I'm just saying. But
a manager's been sacked, righty, so let's do it seriously.
Are you about getting... So what's your... Are you going to get a stopgap or get a manager?
No, it's true though, he's just been sacked.
Well, who's available?
Ryan Mason. Will they go back to Ryan Mason?
No, that's been done. That's been done before.
I think just bring someone in till the end of this season just to get them.
But they're still competing though. It's not as if they can... And they could be in a relegation fight.
Who's the favourites?
What manager available?
Who's the favourites now for the job to go in? They'll be out there straight away.
They wouldn't get him, but would they go for Xabi Alonso? I don't think Xabi Alonso would go to Tottenham.
Well, they've moved quickly in respects of getting rid of him.
No, I think they have to go for somebody. I don't think it'd be a stopgap. I think there's too much at stake.
Who's available now, Roy?
What? There is people available, but that's not the question.
Zerbi?
Who's the right option? There's loads available. There'll be loads of... The madness, we'll sit here now.
Zerbi?
Yeah, Zerbi actually.
I want to see
He just
Klopp
lost
back in the
5-0 his last game, PSG.
It would be perfect for Tottenham.
De Zerbi, Pochettino, Xavi, Marco Silva, Iraola, Robbie Keane, the wrong Keane. Ruben Amorim, Glasner, Maresca.
Ruben Amorim.
Can we get Klopp back
Kieran
in
McKenna?
the Premier League? I miss him.
I think Marco Silva's
So out of those names, Kieran McKenna,
Is he going
Glasner,
to leave
Silva,
Ipswich when they're...
De Zerbi, Pochettino. They're the 5-6 names that are being thrown around right now.
I just say instantly. I just might make Pochettino.
Can I tell you something, though?
No, he's got the will.
You say all that.
Yeah, but then
these
after
managers
that,
and their
you can see
agents,
he's not
lads.
going
Stay up, though,
For all that negativity we said last 20 minutes of Spurs, it's still a great job for somebody, isn't it?
Yeah.
There'll be still somebody going, get me in there and I can maybe work their magic.
Depends on what they want to do, Gal. Like you say, what do they want to build something?
But the fans have been going bananas about the football in terms of what they're playing. So you normally know what a board do.
And their home record.
You normally go for something. You think of Xavi, but he did. He won the league at Barcelona. He lost his job there. De Zerbi's type of football.
I feel for Thomas Frank simply because I thought that it would have been it's a next step for him would be Tottenham and him do well there. I thought that he would have brought that football what we talked about. You didn't know what you're going to get from him, and he would confuse people, and it'd be hard, and they'd be hard to beat, and that.
But you know, we
He
always...
had a great away record, didn't he? That way hard to beat away.
You know the words we always have with people, lads, here and Jill, it's like, who's the right fit? I think it has to be a certain personality, maybe going to Spurs, whoever that might be. Just because they've done well at Brentford, that's always that argument. Can someone take the next step up? But all these guys mentioned there, they've all got, again, pretty decent CVs, but
do you not think bringing somebody in with kind of a connection to the club just to avoid this relegation battle and then reset?
You love a connection.
No, but I think...
He gets us. He
No,
gets
but
us.
I think it needs a bit of heart, doesn't it? They can get into that, like, relegation. Or, like, Gary, would you, like Roy said, get a manager now for long term?
I think if they could get De Zerbi now, they'd get him, wouldn't they? I think Pochettino would be difficult because of the American World Cup being so important to America. I mean, the idea of being distracted going into that World Cup for the US is just... I can't see that happening.
You know, I feel...
Would he agree and then leave after the World Cup?
Who would do it now, though?
Well, but the worry for all that, again, I repeat myself, there's too much at stake for Spurs. It's not as if they're mid-table and they're out of all the terms. You go, listen, just see the season out. They're in a relegation.
I think De Zerbi or Marco Silva.
Yeah. Roy, the first time I ever heard a team are too good to go down was the Forest team with Brian Clough. That was the first time I ever heard that in my life. Do you remember that narrative during that season when Brian Clough's the manager, one of the greats of all time? And you were in that dressing room. What was that like in terms of sort of that feeling of being in a dressing room where people are saying you're too good to go down? Could you smell it?
We weren't. No, I don't think we were kind of saying it too much.
No, you weren't saying it.
But we didn't have a goal scorer and there was injuries. No, it's not good. No, but you're down in free fall. We got no momentum, couldn't score goals. And when you're at the bottom, it's hard to get out of it. And Spurs could be in that. Spurs got much better players than what we had at Forest. We had some good players at Forest, yeah.
We'll see the
Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, but is that the big
It's gone really down.
They're looking like
we
they're
had good
close to
players
it now.
with characters, but we didn't have a goal scorer, obviously.
Yeah, but they're close to it now to Spurs. You'll find out what these players are about now, because they're going to have to be seen.
It was this morning, it was mentioned that basically this idea you're too good to go down.
But the only argument to that is there is 3 or 4 other really bad teams you're thinking for Spurs. You still think, Spurs could go down. You look at the points and the league
one
table.
position available, isn't he?
Right, and you'd like to think, are they better than the other 2 or 3?
West Ham have found a little bit of something.
I think Spurs are, and if somebody comes in...
I think West Ham and Forest might be okay.
I think... West Ham only got nervous last night and they just got deeper and deeper and let that goal in. But, I'm telling you, West Ham are...
But right, took a Forest change.
Right. I mean, look, to be fair, I watched Leeds twice in, I think it was like late November or December, and thought they could be okay. They changed that week that I watched them. Similarly, when I watched West Ham at Chelsea in that first half and then watched them last night, I thought they could be okay because the guys up front aren't bad. Somerville, Bowen... Castellanos and Pablo, they're a handful, by the way.
I think a really good... The lads mentioned, if any of them go in, I think they'll get a grip of Spurs in terms of going down.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they'll win 7-8 games on the spin, but they should have enough to
if you're a team, you're looking forward to playing Spurs at the moment.
Not if a new guy comes in, right?
Arsenal.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. Hopefully the manager don't come in, but
You'll clip that up.
I tell you what, the thing is that the North London derby next for them. It's perfect for if they get the right guy in. It will give the whole place a lift.
But you were worried about the home game, and what was the score on that?
Oh yeah,
was it 3? Was it?
Yeah, no, I think it's 4, wasn't it?
Was it 4?
Yeah.
Well, it was like Carrick coming in at United, wasn't he? And then he's playing City. It's a great opportunity to get fans on board straight away.
I just had a feeling that if they're going to do it, are they going to do it? If he lost the North London derby after he's had 12 days, or you know what I mean, they've got to move now, and they've done it. They've moved. Let's see how they go.
Final question on it: right decision or wrong decision?
I think in the current climate, you have to probably say it was the right decision for them, for the club, and what the club need right now, because it feels like it's in free fall. They're too close for comfort. they had to act.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the right decision, but I think it was right for Thomas Frank as well. I think for a long time I've been watching him. He doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't look comfortable in press conferences, and it's almost, you can see bags under his eyes. You know
Yeah,
what
but
I
the
mean?
thing is, he's
It
always
felt
had
tough
that
for him
kind of
for a long time,
mad
to be
professory
honest.
kind of vibe. He's got this jittery kind of like, so it looks even worse when he's under pressure. It looks like he looks like he's out of control, but he's probably not. But feel for him.
I stick to managers having more time. I think I always say it. I don't think they get enough time, but
they know that. That's the game.
Yeah, but then we're talking about a club.
The Spurs' form last year was
bro.
poor as well. It's not as if he's gone in. He's just obviously not been able to get it going. But he's still a brilliant manager. I'm sure he'll bounce back.
I don't think clubs can afford to take a chance anymore.
So
I just think the money's become so sort of what I mean. The idea that Spurs could get dragged into a relegation zone and potentially go down would be catastrophic, and I think they just can't take that risk anymore.
That's exactly what
They
it is.
might pay Thomas Frank, I don't know, 5, 10, 12 million quid, but they'd lose 150 if they went down, or 120. It's like massive
So
loss.
But what happened? Yeah, I know, but why
people say that,
panic?
Roy.
But why panic?
Yeah, but people say that, but then sometimes the payout for Tom, you hope that they give it to him because normally they drag it out for like 20 years or something to pay. Well, people think, oh, he's left with 12 million. It's taken him 50 years to get it.
I think that's important for a manager to negotiate that on the way in, righty, to be fair.
That'll be the main thing he's negotiating.
One thing a club I would say about that is, what you don't want to, and I know this from experience, what you don't want to do, he's come in, he's not done what he said he would do, which is get Tottenham into probably the top 6, right? So do you want to reward failure as an owner? There's got to be a consequence of poor results for a manager as well. So I'm putting the sort of devil's advocate thing, but I feel sorry.
But not after 20-odd games.
No, but I feel really sorry for Thomas Frank right now. I do. I think it's awful. But if you're Tottenham and you sat 4th from bottom, 5th from bottom in the Premier League, and you spent 114 million quid in the summer, and you're thinking you're expecting better, you don't also want to be rewarding failure for basically sort of not achieving things. Yeah. So, you know, it's rumoured that Amorim walked away with 10 million, other managers walk away with 10 million. You can't say that, to me, I have some sympathy for a club in some ways, because when the manager comes in, by the way, he's telling them he's going to get this team to deliver.
But 20-odd games then. Is that
I get it.
That's not.
I know, I get it. But if you ask Thomas Frank on the way in, will you ever be 5th from bottom in the league? He'll say, no, I'll have them in the top half of the table. So there's an element of...
You just said top 6 a few minutes ago. There's no way I think he went in there and said, I'll get us in the top 6 in the next year. I'd be shocked if he said that.
Within Europa League, Roy, they spent quite a bit of money in the summer. There'll be an expectation to get into the top 5.
The form last year in the league was poor and their home record's been poor, so it takes time to...
But if they were 8 now or 9, they wouldn't be being sacked. So the 16th.
Roy,
they've won 2 in 17. So I'm presenting a different argument because actually I feel for Thomas Frank right now.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a bit like the Ange situation. What if he says, like, he could be arguing the league form is not great, but I still think we can win a trophy. That might have been his point. I don't think he was sitting there last summer saying, I'm going to get the top 6. But he's thinking, listen, I'll steady the ship and try and build something and have a project.
Roy, I was there a week last Sunday at Tottenham against City.
Game.
And at half-time, I think I had to text. I said, he will be gone by tomorrow lunchtime. I think I put that on the group.
Yeah.
Because the feeling in the ground, I'd never seen Tottenham so low. It was like, it was gone.
Was there empty seats then?
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to come out for the second half, but actually Tottenham scored like 5 minutes after the second half and did well in the second half, and they came out and the stadium filled up again. They were obviously all in the bars.
So they hadn't left.
But Roy, to be fair, I said on the group, my feeling was at that moment, he'll be gone by tomorrow lunchtime. Actually, the fact he came back in that game has probably prolonged his stay for a week or so.
Right.
But I felt like it was something ending. You just felt like
you smell it, you feel it.
Do you think if they'd lost that game, he would have gone the next day? If they'd lost that game, do you think it would have been gone the next day?
I think if City had gone on to do what they should have done in the second half, which was score a 3rd and a 4th, then I think he'd been gone the next day.
You think they'd sack him after City? Because
It wasn't that right. It was the feeling. Right. It's sometimes just a feeling. I think I've said this about Louis van Gaal. I got sacked by Valencia, came home, watched the game at United, and there was Crystal Palace on a Tuesday night at home, and there was like 50-odd thousand people in the stadium, and they said it was 70-odd, but it wasn't. And the stadium was empty. The football was really bad, and I thought, he's getting sacked very quickly. He was sacked within a week or so. You just feel it at a big club sometimes when a manager is just not going to survive the eerie, almost like graveyards type atmosphere that exists, and that's what happened at Tottenham.
They're just there, aren't they? They're just there because that's what they do. They're in the routine.
They're watching, but they're actually just like that.
They're not
vacant. Yeah, they're vacant, and I think the fans have become vacant in this last few weeks.
I know, but I go back to it's still not right for a manager to get 20 out
No.
of games. Come on, man. Hey, I don't care.
Especially
All
with everything
logic
he's
goes
built up
onto
at
it.
Brentford as well. He's built a nice little rep for himself. It would have been a good move. You don't know how it hasn't worked.
But what you find at Brentford, for all, how well they've done the last few years. Sorry, no, but Thomas Frank. When he was at Brentford, he'd lose 5 or 6 games and nobody would say that. And then he could win 3 or 4. But at Spurs, with obviously different headlines, different expectations, and maybe deep down when you don't get that record going at home, you don't get a good start. The fans, it's hard to get them back on side.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be letting a secret out of the hat here a little bit, aren't we? Because we film 2 records in one day, but I've just had a thing in me here. Our guest this week is Ange Postecoglou. And
He's just pulled out.
no. No, he was supposed to come on obviously later to go on for next week, but because of what's just happened, he's happy to come in here and have a chat about the situation at Tottenham.
So should we get him in then?
This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Arm Clothing. Ange, in you come. Ange, in you come.
Mid-flow.
Got timing, Ange.
Timing, eh?
Oh,
yeah. Good to see you. You too, eh?
Good to see him.
Ange, good to
Hey,
see you.
mate.
Nice to see you.
Hi, Ange.
Wow.
Okay.
Good.
You're right. Nice
good,
to see you.
Hey, mate. Good, mate.
Right,
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Ange, okay, mate.
Yeah, good, mate. You?
Good.
Fast.
In the box.
Thank you.
That was good timing.
Yeah.
How are you, Ange?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Yeah.
I've just.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I was driving up and I got a message. And, yeah.
So, that was from the Tottenham board, was it?
No.
I mean, look, Ange, I think first
It'd be great. Thank you, bud.
question really is obviously about Thomas Frank. You'll have managed against him. You spoke to him probably a few times, many times, maybe.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts in terms of your initial thoughts?
Look, it's always, having been in that position now twice in the last sort of 6 months, it's tough. It's tough. And you know that he can't be the only issue at the club, right? And that's probably for every manager, but ultimately that's what we get judged on. But, you know, it goes back to me. It's a curious club, Tottenham, you know. It's made a major pivot at the end of last year, not just with me, but with Daniel leaving as well. And you've created this whole sort of environment of uncertainty, because there's no guarantees. It doesn't matter which manager you bring in. I mean, they've had world-class managers there. They haven't had success. And for what reason? You know, what was the reason for such a major pivot? So Thomas is walking in, and what's his objective? What's the club's objective? I mean, at the start of the year, they sort of said compete on all fronts. Well, the club hasn't competed on all fronts for a very long time. And you also, you know, the most influential person at the club for the last 20 years is also going. So if you're going to do such a major pivot, then you've got to understand there's going to be some instability there. Now, did Thomas know he was walking into that? I don't know. And it's a fair departure from me. I mean, anyone who kind of studies the game will know that it wasn't like it was a progression for me. I built that sort of squad, for want of a better term, to play a certain way over the last couple of years. And he's sort of coming in, and like I said, there's always... So it's a curious club, Tottenham, mate. It's, yeah.
What do you mean by curious, Ange, in the sense that we've just discussed it before. We've talked about yourself, you know, Conte, Mourinho, Pochettino, Nuno, Thomas Frank now. There is an absolute sort of convoy of managers with great reputations who have walked into that football club and can't about turn the...
Only one won something, though.
Good point.
Second season.
But my point is that everybody's deemed to have failed in their positions.
Yeah.
Even you. What is that culture mentality? What is that exists there that means it's difficult to
But
succeed?
you look at that list of names, and there isn't really a common thread through there as to what they're trying to do. And I do think part of Tottenham's DNA, for want of a better word, is they do like their team to play a certain way.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to say with Maurizio, they were going down that path. Although, you know, at the same time, I think people have been too dismissive of Harry's influence through that period.
Yeah.
He's an unbelievable player. Yeah. If I had Harry the last 2 years, that first year we finished 5th, I'm convinced we would have finished in Champions League spots, you know. So even him leaving, like you can't plug that hole. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
So when you look at those managers, and like I said, they've gone from, you know, Maurizio, who played a certain way and sort of, I think, fit the DNA. Then the big thing was, well, they haven't won anything. We need winners. So let's go for, Jose. Jose gets them to a cup final and they sack him the week before the cup. So you're going, if you're talking about winners, well, in a one-off game, I wouldn't mind Jose being my manager at my club just for a one-off game. What happens beyond that is... And then, then it was Antonio, because again, he's another winner, and then Antonio goes and I sort of come in, they say, well, we want the football, With Antonio, we made Champions League, but we didn't have the football. So we want the football and you've got the football, even though my DNA is I'll win as well. So then we go down that path and then... So that's what I mean. It's a real curious in terms of understanding what are they trying to build? What are they? Is it... There's obviously, they've built an unbelievable stadium, unbelievable training facilities. But when you look at the expenditure, particularly, in their wages structure, they're not a big club. I saw that because when we were trying to sign players, we weren't in the market for those players.
Not a big club in sense of the wages that they pay. Because the money, the sort of the transfer fees, not the biggest in the league.
They're always there or thereabouts.
But there's a cap, is there, on wages that won't be broken?
Yeah. There's certain players that at the end of my first year when we finished 5th, for me, okay, how do you go from 5th to really challenging? Well, we had to sign Premier League ready players. But finishing 5th that year didn't get us Champions League. We didn't have the money. So we ended up signing Dom Solanke, who was I was really keen on him. I really like him. And 3 teenagers. I was looking at Pedro Neto and Buemo and Semenyo at the time, Mark Gahey, because I said, if we're going to go from 5th to there, that's what the other big clubs would do in that moment. And those 3 teenagers are outstanding young players. Brilliant young, and I think they'll be great players for Tottenham, but they're not going to get you from 5th to 4th and 3rd. But what was coming out from the club was that, no, we're a club that can compete on all fronts.
So when you say curious, Ange, you've obviously got great experience as a manager, managed all over the world at certain clubs. Is Tottenham different to those other clubs in terms of getting what you want onto the pitch or sort of looking to take the club forward? Well,
they're all unique, they're all different, but, when you walk into Tottenham, what you see everywhere is to dare is to do. It's everywhere. And yet their actions are almost the antithesis of that.
Right.
In terms of you whether you like or dislike them, you give credit to Daniel because that path has got a new stadium, new facilities by taking a safe path. I think what they didn't realise that to actually win, you've got to take some risks. At some point, you've got to be, and that's the DNA of the club.
Who's not taking the risks, Ange? Daniel or the above Daniel?
I never got that high up, mate. I don't know. It's not. I never had these conversations. I never really spent a lot of time with Daniel. I think he'd like to keep his distance from his managers anyway. I think maybe apart from Maurizio, no other manager really got close to him. So I didn't spend a lot of time to say, well, is this a club policy? Because obviously he's not the majority shareholder, so I don't know. I really
when
don't.
The frustrations came out, you didn't have anyone to say, well, what's happening?
No, nothing. And the one thing I thought to myself, Righty, when I took the job is, I go, I've got to be, I remember telling my wife this, I go, you pull me up whenever it happens, but I had to make sure my frustrations didn't come out publicly because I'd seen Antonio come out, Jose, even Maurizio towards the end, and it didn't end well, right? So I'm going, I've got to be really disciplined here and not say, and maybe that does the club a disservice because if I express my frustration, but I felt that doesn't get you anywhere at Tottenham. It didn't. And again, I don't think Daniel liked that sort of laundry to be sort of put out in public. So you got to respect that. And I say, my frustrations was tough.
Did you feel like you had the freedom to play football your way, or did you feel like, say, if you were getting beat, were people challenging you on your style of play?
Yeah, but that never worried me, Jill, because that's kind of been a constant in my career. That it's never been always smooth, and I've never let that affect what I was trying to do because I think that's my job, right? So irrespective of what everyone else is telling me about how I should play, but I'm the manager. You've employed me to be the manager, so I'm going to make the decisions. And in the end, I'll take the responsibility. So that I never felt, and I just felt that's the way Tottenham should go. So I kind of, even last year, I know we and by the way, we were never in a relegation battle last year. We never got even close. I mean, we finished 13 points off relegation, but even when we were sort of towards the back end of the year where it was quite obvious we were going for something else, I mean, we still scored 64 goals last year. You know, I was still trying to get the guys, but we weren't equipped to do it. But I still felt that was the way forward. I said, if we're ever going to become the team that I thought Tottenham wanted to be, then this was the path. So, you know, and in the end, I have to do that. I think any manager who says, I want to play this way, but they won't let me, that's a cop-out. You're the manager, you do it the way you want to, you know.
Ange, is there a discrepancy between what they say to you on the way in and what they promise in respect of the wages and the cap? As we were talking about this before, would they explain that we've got a salary cap, that this is the restrictions and we can't go and get these players on the way in so that you know and you expect them maybe to change when you finish fifth? Or is it a case of they actually, to be fair, say, no, we're going to invest in it and we're going to sort of, how's that work?
Yeah, look, again, not deep discussions on that, but it's not so much what they tell you, it's what goes out publicly. And I still felt like, you know, Tottenham as a club was saying we're one of the big boys. And the reality is I don't think they are in terms of my experience over the last 2 years.
Of how they act?
Yeah. And you know, when Arsenal need players, they'll spend 100 million on Declan Rice. I don't see Tottenham doing that.
Ever?
Maybe now, I don't know. But not just my history, even predating me. And, you know, and again, a lot of that was, okay, they were building a stadium, so obviously finances were a challenge.
Yeah.
I guess the bit I didn't realise was just how much Champions League football makes a difference. And I think that's why there was always this desperation, because that provided the kitty, you know, and you go, okay, well, so that means in my first year, they finished 8th the year before. We've lost Harry 2 days before we played Brentford in the first game. I've got to try and make... Now that, you know, I'm going, well...
That's a tall order.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
We almost got there. I mean, we finished 5th. Any other year, that probably would have been... And if we did, maybe last year, we wouldn't have bought 3 teenagers. We might have. But I still don't think we would have spent... It's not the transfer fee, the wages to really attract...
Right.
I mean, when was the last time Tottenham really signed somebody who you go, wow?
Yeah.
And they did.
Gaza.
Yeah, well, back then, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
And you know what, Roy, they talk about that period, and they weren't overly successful then, but they did win FA Cups. They did have exciting players, and I think the supporters, when I speak to them, they speak fondly of that era, even though they weren't playing maybe in the Champions League or winning the league, because they did. They had those star players. And I think, like I said, I think people underestimate the role Harry played over the last 10 years. He's an unbelievable... I mean, I only worked with him for a couple of months. He's the best player I've ever sort of witnessed close up in my whole career. And all right, I mean, I haven't been at the highest level, but just watching him at training.
Yeah.
I mean, we played the last friendly game, like, before, and, you know, I was still hoping against hope he would stay. And he scored 4 goals. We played Shakhtar. And the next week we're playing Brentford, and I know he's not going to be there. And I've gone, it's just... So that masked, I think, a lot of things. But it's not like Harry leaves and then you go sign Erling Haaland. That doesn't happen.
And we were talking before, and you're talking about sort of the board's ambition and wages and different things. But we're going back, our own experience of football, probably going back 40 years to when Spurs were probably last successful in the early 80s, UEFA Cup and FA Cups. If you take almost the board out, is there a mentality and almost like a feeling, I look from the outside, that no one actually believes Tottenham can win or go and win a big game?
Yeah.
Or not so much a big game,
a
big trophy.
It is. Look, Spursy. Spursy. I mean, that's what it was all
Is
about.
that a thing? You're inside the building, there's players, when they're coming in. Is there almost a lack of belief that you can go and do something?
100% there is. Yeah, absolutely. And that was the thing I was trying to break. And, you know, my whole statement about winning things in the second year was I was doing that for the club, because no one internally would dare say that, because they were just scared. They've been close a few times, and, oh no, if we get there, even I remember the day of the Europa final, and by that stage, the players were brilliant, you know, and I knew we'd win that day, you know. I was just convinced that the path we'd taken, and everyone in the sort of hotel was really calm. And I remember it was one of the few times actually Daniel came in and we had a coffee in the morning, and he said, everyone's really relaxed. Even he was, and the only thing he said to me, which was bizarre as a motivational point, he said something like, oh, you know what, I've been in 7 finals or semi-finals and we haven't won one.
That's a good thing.
Go on. But I know why he said that, because of that. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, Jamie, right? So you've got that, and that does exist, absolutely. And I think, and then you break that by winning something, and what do? You tear it all up and you go again. Like we had the Super Cup final, and I'll back myself to win that. We could have 2 trophies in the space of 2 months, and then all of a sudden that's out the window, that they can't win a big game. You've done that, you've broken that. So that's what I mean, that's the curiosity in me of understanding why. And it's not because it's me, because at the end of the day, I've done what I've done. I was there for 2 years. But what are you trying to achieve? The biggest thing you had hanging over you was this Spursy tag. And I'm sure you all thought, you know what, come the final, Man United will win because they just know how to win.
That's exactly. I said that before the final, and obviously credit to yourself and the players. I think we said on this show, I even when Man United are really struggling in the last sort of few years, they still managed to get over the line in a big game. You know, they beat Man City in the FA Cup final. I was convinced. I just couldn't see how Tottenham could win a big game because of that mentality I've got of Tottenham, that Man United will just turn up and they'll just, even though they're not a great team, they just have that aura of where Man United we're supposed to win things. So
and that existed. I mean, there isn't a Tottenham supporter that I see now that doesn't want to hug me. Not because, we won, but because they just never thought it would happen. They just never thought because like I said, they've been close so many times. They had world-class managers, world-class players. You know, they've made finals, semi-finals, and yet, and it was, look, to be honest, the reason I was convinced we'd win was because that's what I sold to the players.
Yeah.
I said to them, you know, I think I've said the story where outside the Tottenham dressing room at the home ground, there's all the photos, but it's only of the teams that have won things. And I walked them through that, and I just said, have a look at those walls. What do you notice? I said, most of them are in black and white, because that's how long ago. And I go, who's not on these walls? I said, Harry's not on these walls. I said, Sonny, I go, Sonny, you're not on these walls. Only one way we get on these walls, boys. So that was a big driving force for me, that I kind of used it as, that's why I was convinced get to the final that we would win, because I think when it got tough, and it was going to get tough, I think we had more to win than Man U on the night. I said, Man U, they've always got something to lean on, a crutch of success. This was a chance for this group of players, and that's the story I sold them. Well, mate, you guys got a chance to elevate yourself above all the other players that have come in the last sort of 40 years.
How did you feel yourself going into that game in terms of your job? Did you feel like it was on the line, even though you were preparing for this massive game?
Yeah, I knew I was gone.
Really?
Yeah, I knew I was gone probably around, I think, the end of January, early February. I knew I was gone. And I said to the coaches, I said, look, it's quite obvious. At the time, I said, we weren't in a relegation. We were, I think, 16th points away from relegation. I said, look, we're in the quarterfinals of Europa League. I think we can win it. I said, and that means not just winning a trophy, you know how much, but that also means Champions League football. I said, but the reality is, get your helmets on, because every week we're going to be copping it. I said, but I'll take that. Don't worry. I'll take the responsibility for that. But also, if we get knocked out of any stage of the Europa League, I said, I'm pretty much sure it's over. So I knew it was gone, because you get a sense of that with the conversations you have, you know, about people. No one was talking to me about the transfer window or pre-season next year. So you kind of know, and that was fine. I didn't understand it, but I'm thinking, you know what? Again, I didn't want to get distracted. I was so laser focused on, even for myself, it's taken me 30 years to get here. What a unique opportunity to win a European trophy at a club that hasn't had success for such a long time. I know I'll remember it. So I wasn't going to let that distract me, but yeah, I knew I was gone.
Ange, thank you very much for coming on this week. And we'll see you next week.
I'll just fly back to London, you know?
This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Arm Clothing. This segment is brought to you by Microsoft Copilot as part of a partnership with the Premier League. I've got my new toy. Right, here we go. Following Dominic Szoboszlai's free kick at the weekend, can the Premier League companion powered by Copilot give me the top 5 players to score free kicks in the Premier League history? So
who got the most?
Yes.
So Beckham or Ward-Prowse?
Let me get that things up.
Is he really
Thierry.
confident?
No, not a chance.
I am.
He'll be up there.
League.
Not a chance.
So the Premier League companion, powered by Copilot, has given me the 5 top goal scorers from free kicks in Premier League history.
So we know the top 2.
Who are the top 2?
Beckham and Ward-Prowse.
Okay, Beckham and Ward-Prowse.
Ronaldo?
Yes, Jill.
Rooney?
No.
Thierry Henry.
Thierry.
Oh.
And one more. You've done well, by the way.
Hang on.
One more.
Gerrard.
The
about
fourth.
Lampard.
Trent?
With 12 free kicks, goals. How many did you think Beckham scored, by the way, at the top?
I know how much Beckham's. I know how many Beckham.
many?
What, the
18.
whole of the Premier League?
How do you know that?
Because I've
He's a
listened to
football
it.
man. He's a football man.
Wow.
You know,
And Ward-Prowse is on?
Ward-Prowse is 3 or 4 behind.
No,
isn't
he's
it?
17.
17, Jamie.
Yeah.
Because he was nearly in. Like West Ham a couple of
You've
times.
got one player. He's one of the
Stuart
Premier.
Pearce.
No, he's one of the Premier League greats. He's one of the
Is
Premier
it
League.
Zola?
Kane?
Yeah.
Zola.
I thought it was
Who did
Zola.
you say?
Good
Zola.
shout.
Well done.
Shout.
So
You
that
cheat,
one,
you
we
cheat, Andy.
blasted
How many
that.
did
You got
Trent
these
get?
questions last night.
How many did Trent get?
Trent, I think would have got 6. How many Zola got?
Got one down at Chelsea.
12
Chelsea.
Oh, so who was 5th on that list, guys?
Ronaldo.
And what did he get?
12.
12. I think Trent, what would he get? 8, 7,
Do you
8?
think?
Who is the player that you think would have been on there but isn't? Like, who was the best free kick taker? I thought De Bruyne would have been on there.
Oh, yeah, good one.
Here we go. Trent. How many do you think Trent scored?
6 or
I wanna
7
go,
on it.
yeah,
9.
6 or 7.
So, yeah, I'd have said that.
6.
6, 7.
Anything else you wanted to ask it? How many did
Is
De
this
Bruyne
like
score?
AI, Gary?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
What's she got a Liverpool goal the weekend, the goalkeeper?
Oh, did you think he should have more in the wall?
Yes.
Of course
Yes,
he should have.
Absolutely.
yes.
Did you see it rose up?
Do you know what annoys me about goalkeepers who are pundits now? They never slag goalkeepers off.
No, I know.
It's all this. Oh, he's not lucky. Just
But
don't
Roy,
criticise a
yeah, but remember what
goalkeeper.
you're saying about like don't have a wall at all. I think like again.
Or if you're going to have one, get the right numbers in.
Get the right number because suppose like we can't take it. He smashed that,
He did.
but like there's no way that's not hitting somebody in and around the chest. If you
What's the
jump.
best free kick goal in Premier League history? What's the best free kick we've ever seen? I think Ronaldo's the
Against
one.
Portsmouth.
Oh, the one
Yeah.
against Portsmouth was good, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Because that's the first time I think we saw that knuckle kick, wasn't it?
In the
Yeah,
league,
hit it with that.
Gaz is in the cup semi-finals.
How many's De Bruyne?
Oh,
How many De
that's-
Bruyne free kicks?
Well, how about
Obviously,
your
low.
favourites?
8 or 9 or less.
3,
5.
5.
You would never have thought that, would you?
Gary, how much did Beckham practice his free kicks?
He practiced
A lot.
all the time.
Like after every training session?
I say about him, he kicked more footballs than I've ever seen anyone else kick a football. When someone says to me, how many times did David Beckham practice football? He literally, from the moment he went out, he just obsessed with kicking balls onto the pitch, coming off the pitch. Would you agree? Like, you're just always kicking a ball.
Yeah.
Was anybody else? Was Gerrard?
I know what you
Steve
mean.
Gerrard like
Yeah,
that?
I know what you mean,
Like,
yeah.
Beck's just literally would constantly kick footballs.
Well, we
It's
pick
City,
people.
Phil Foden's like that.
Practicing throw-ins.
He was doing throw-ins. Cantona was keeping the ball up. You know, Eric was always last to leave. No, he wasn't. He was first off the training pitch. These stories about players.
And what were you doing?
First in.
What were you doing?
Arguing. He was in the
I was getting ready for training, but you hear these
Just an
stories.
argument.
He was walking in, seeing he was on the phone.
Everyone, there was no phones back then. No, everyone says, Cantona used to stay behind after and finish till midnight. All these stories. Beck would practice free kicks. He didn't practice every day.
30 seasons of data, all at your fingertips. From every moment that makes you a fan, from club history to your favourite players. Go to the Premier League Companion, powered by Copilot, in the Premier League app. And by the way, Copilot's pretty good. Get on it. I use it every single day. The Golden Game is taking over Super 6 this February, which means the jackpot will double this weekend if Aston Villa beat Newcastle from £250,000 to £500,000. It's completely free to play. Just predict 6 scores this weekend and the money could be yours. 18 plus, T&Cs apply.
We did well.
Did we?
I checked, yes.
Well,
Jill, let's be a surprise.
right. Last week, Gary and Jamie, 9 points.
Way!
It's over.
Not bad.
Well
9
done,
points.
guys.
You're
Very good.
86.
No way we're beating.
No, we're
Should we
no
do
chance.
better?
No way we.
Obviously.
Gilroy Ian, 11 points.
Yes, Jill, you're
Squeaky
right.
bum time.
Yeah. Nice.
There's
You knew
Spurs
that?
over there.
10 points. You know something?
There's Spurs and
You
we're
were top,
they are
top
Spurs.
22% of players. You beat
We're Arsenal.
640,000 players.
Get it
We
back.
beat
What did you say? What did you say?
640,000. Wow.
So there you go. Someone got 27 points though, which is pretty impressive, but not us.
I like it. 76, 86.
I
Come
We
on.
need-
I
we
bet
need
you I
to
got
go
them 11. I
different
bet
to
you I got
them.
them 11.
It's FA Cup round, isn't
We're
it?
different to them.
This is where the real students of the game come out. So here we go.
Salford.
Magic of the cup.
Salford.
Look at Salford.
You've got insight.
I'd say.
Jill's working there. She's got insight.
What would you take?
Gary.
Did they beat them the last time? Was it
8-0.
8-0? I'll go 9.
Yeah, let them.
No, I won't. Not for Carl.
No.
My mate.
Right, Gary.
You go
Gary,
first.
Jamie, you go
Let
first.
them go first.
I'll go 4-0. 4-1. You want to go?
I do.
You should be back
I'd
against your
love
own
4 or 5-1. 4-1. 4-1.
I'd never
4-1.
even. I wouldn't say it against my own team. I
4-1,
would.
yeah.
I would say you do it.
What
Jamie.
owner would ever do that?
I would never do that.
Yeah, I
Salford
can't-
rested. Would he go? Honestly, he won't mess about.
Yeah, I think
No, Carl won't mess around.
Kelly.
What an
Brayden.
opportunity, though. They're in a much better
I
situation
think
than last
5
time.
or 6 now.
I'd say
I think 5 or 6.
6-0.
6 now.
No, I think Salford will be well over.
Okay.
all you want.
So what do you
6-0.
what do you say? Well, what do you think? then,
What do you think, Jill?
What do you think?
6-4.
What do you think?
No, I would have said less, but go on.
Go on, no, say what you can say then.
Say what you think.
I would
Say
have
what you
said
say.
like 3-0
Jill.
Who?
City.
To who? To see. Jill, they're going to...
So what?
It was
Go
9
on,
last
you
year.
go.
It was 9.
I know, but they're in
You
a
know the
much
score?
better
It'd be
position.
good, I think 10 or 11 against Exeter.
Exeter 10.
10-1 against Exeter.
I'd
10-1. Oh, extra score.
6 0.
Can we put 6 in, please?
6-0.
Sorry,
Double
Carl.
what I've-
Carl Robinson, I love Carl
course.
Robinson. So, yeah.
What about Southampton last night?
Yep.
At
Southampton
Leicester.
versus
Oh,
Leicester.
They were 3-0 down, came back and won 4-3.
Wow. I just kept seeing another goal and another goal. And I was like, whoa.
Is that Southampton v Leicester, that?
That is indeed.
You
Southampton.
can't
FA
go
Cup.
against Southampton.
Oh, my
against
God.
Come on.
Wow.
Oh, psychologically
Family
all over the
before
place.
football.
It's a blockbuster.
2-0
It's a
Southampton.
fight. It's a massive fight.
Clean sheet, my future son-in-law's centre half, so they'll keep
Right, bring him
2-0.
on.
Oh,
Right.
was it them?
Bring him on here one week.
bring Tay on.
He's a lovely guy.
No, just talk about
Great
being a young player through an academy.
Yeah, of course, I'd say it to him, yeah.
Yeah. Right, so clean sheet.
Oh, so I'll go, sorry.
Yeah.
Saying that Leicester did score 3
Clean
against
sheet.
them. No, I think Leicester
Jill,
scored.
what are you
They scored
thinking?
3 against them last night.
Different game, though.
3-2.
Southampton.
No, it'll be totally the opposite.
2-1. I'm going 2-1.
think
You got
it's
2-1.
2-1.
2-1 Southampton.
2-1 Southampton. Nice one, Roy. What are you saying, James?
You said 2-0, didn't you?
2-0.
2-0.
Southampton?
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Southampton.
Absolutely
Good
ridiculous.
defenders.
Leicester would score. No.
Right, Aston Villa
Scored 3 against
versus Newcastle. This is Super Six's golden game. Super Six are doubling the jackpot if Villa beat Newcastle this weekend. So let's give double points for this game.
I think...
So you off this week,
Well,
George?
the thing
You're
is,
off. Are you going away
good
anywhere?
day.
You got a trip?
That was a good ad read.
Double points.
3 days.
Yeah. Are you going skiing?
3 days.
You love a trip away. I'm telling you, I'm not
3
living.
days.
Are you watching the Winter
So
Olympics?
whoever gets this,
No.
we double it up.
When's
No.
it on?
No.
I think...
Them-
Jill, they're always away skiing. Me and you,
Is it-
what
is
did we do
it-
yesterday?
is
Met
it
for
straight-
coffee yesterday.
Yeah, we had a coffee. Yeah.
Great
Is it
laugh.
straight to penalties, or is it extra time then penalties?
Aston Villa beat Newcastle. Newcastle want to go.
I treated Jill to
Several
lunch.
games,
Yeah.
and they want
Oh, I know you
She'll
did.
never...
She invites me, but you know.
Okay,
And you pay.
2-1.
Do I
I
have
go
to,
Villa.
do I have to pay
2-1.
for lunch every
Yeah,
night?
2-1
Villa.
2-1 Villa.
We actually shared a ham
They'll be
and cheese
desperate
toast.
for trophy.
2-1 Villa.
Oh, it's a safe one, that. And Newcastle.
That's what they've done. Anyone who does 2-1 is a safe.
Yeah, I think Newcastle are going to get something
Just
on
go.
there. They looked a bit better.
Lots of
More of
games.
a gamble, I
They've
know,
got a lot-
but
yes.
yeah, there was a bit
This
of
is
energy
a
about
tough
them last
one,
night.
this, isn't it?
I like Villa.
When it's
Eddie
Spurs,
Is that one where you watch that game for the first half and then put Man U on?
it's flick.
Yeah, I did that.
No, I think Villa. I'm not sure he's obsessed with the FA Cup.
Unai.
I think he needs a
we get
trouble.
through?
No,
Like,
maybe
We
something
need
in
to
Europe.
do something
No, I get
The
different.
Champions League, Jamie. I'm
Yeah.
telling
We
you.
need to catch these. Should we go Newcastle?
Newcastle
Go on then.
2-1.
Okay.
You know something?
Love
Did
that.
you suck us into that one there?
Liverpool, Brighton.
We need
have to
to
win
go
a trophy.
different.
Liverpool, Brighton. They've got Liverpool always beat Brighton at home, surely.
It was 2-0 in the league.
Yeah, Liverpool. Is there a goal?
I think this might just be a flat
yeah,
game.
yeah.
So this is Saturday.
There you go, first.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
This,
Ignore everything.
what do you say? It's going to be a flat game, do you think?
No, I think
No,
they're really excited.
Liverpool.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those where Liverpool just...
I think 2-1 Liverpool.
You're
think Brighton
doing
are gonna score?
2-1 for everything.
That's all right. If he's right, it's fine.
Look, we've got 2-1. 2-0. I don't
Giving
think
Salford
Brighton are
4 goals.
2-0 he said.
Don't give
What are you going to?
I'm
I'll
gonna
give
say-
Brighton a goal, 2-1.
2-1.
Brighton will score. Danny Welbeck will score.
I'm going to go 1-0. I think
Just
the game
for
will be a
when we
bit
flip
flat.
this
We're both
up, I
playing
think
Wednesday
1-1.
night.
Couldn't wait to get that out.
This
Jamie.
is Saturday night. It's
Oh, I just...
quick
Stoke
turnaround.
Fulham.
Oh, don't worry about the midweek game. You play the game in front of you.
Stoke
Fulham.
at home, full stadium.
Fulham, I fancy
Fulham
Fulham.
win.
Fulham have got some lively players. Harry
2-1.
Wilson.
2-1.
Harry Wilson. I think them kind of...
2-1. It doesn't matter. 2-1.
No, we can't. We need to do different.
2-0.
All right,
2-0.
2-0 to Fulham.
2-0 to Fulham.
The centre-backs are out for Fulham, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got a game 3 weeks later as well.
Arsenal, Wigan.
Oh,
Clean sheet
Right,
for
yes.
Wigan.
No.
Played last week.
No, he's not playing.
Is he not playing? Oh, he's going to wait. He's giving it a few more days, is he?
Fair though. They lost 6-0.
6-1.
6-1 it was.
Last night 2-1.
If he's available the following week, I won't be happy.
I think that's
No.
that's a, like,
What-
Tell him he has to take another 2 weeks off.
Arsenal, Wigan.
I think
Obviously, he's going to want to play against
4-0.
Arsenal, though.
2.
I think 4-0 to Wigan.
Right, he's been injured all season.
4-0 Arsenal, he's gone.
4-0 Arsenal.
Are you sure?
Wait a minute.
Let's get
Yeah, go on. Go on. It's your gig. Are you going?
4-0.
I'm going to go 4-0.
4-0.
What, are you going to the match? Are you away? You go to
No, I'm away. I'm going.
Brazil?
Is everybody away next week?
3-1 Arsenal.
3. Okay.
Yeah, 3-1.
I'm in Dublin doing some charity
Thank you
work.
so much,
Yeah.
Super 6.
Right, yeah.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah,
Do
very
a
good
Sky
charity. He's not
advert
doing
every
charity
week.
work.
You must be minted off them Sky adverts.
Must be minted.
Oh my
I see him
God,
every
he
minute.
must be.
Loaded charity.
So this morning I was sat there and I was thinking, it was off the back of the United game last night. Sesko scored an absolutely incredible goal. And I was thinking about actually at the start of the season, we had these what would be unproven strikers coming into the league that were quite big money. I'll list them all out to you. So Wirtz, Ekitike, Sesko, Mbeumo. Obviously Mbeumo's more of a thing. Delap, João Pedro, Gyökeres. All these strikers we talked about at the start of the season. And we're now probably just over halfway through. And I was thinking about sort of, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, United, all needed a centre forward. And there was nothing perfect out there for any of them really in the market, was there? And they were all sort of deliberating, should we go Sesko? Should we go Gyökeres? Should we go Delap? United tried to get Delap. So basically, this so far, Ekitike, we're going to have a game of hit, miss, or maybe. And this is just so far.
Hit, miss, or maybe, okay.
Ekitike scored 10 Premier League goals, 2 assists in 22 games, 6 as a sub. I think we'd all pretty much, I'm saying but he's been a hit so far, Ekitike, hasn't he?
Yeah.
At the start of the season, I said that basically, you said he'd be a hit, Ian. I said eventually, but not straight away, and I was wrong. He's been a hit straight away.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Florian Wirtz, 4 Premier League goals, 2 assists in 24 games. Has he been a hit so far, a miss or a maybe?
I think he's a maybe. I think he's in the middle. He's a maybe. He's definitely improved.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's enough to say.
He does some good stuff. You can see his.
But I still think it'll take him a full season to get up to speed.
Yeah.
And he'll be like next year. Remember Modric and all these boys took time to settle in at Spurs, get used to the physicality. And
Getting better.
He just needed a bit of time. He's hitting.
He's the one player.
Getting there.
Right.
That Modric years ago, I could not see how he was going to become a top player.
Yeah.
And then,
Did you see that? I was working at my Tottenham, and you see him do stuff. You think this guy's really good. Then bam, goes to Real Madrid.
He does defy logic though, Modric.
He does.
In terms of his physical appearance, you think that can't run a football match.
and to end up playing.
Especially the position he played.
But he ended up having a career playing in the middle of the park.
Yeah, I thought
like in a wide position.
Number 10 or out the way.
A bit like Bernardo Silva, what he does sometimes, a bit like that. Right, third one, Gyökeres. We all said at the start of the season that he was going to be a hit. I think, Ian, you said that you said 15 goals.
I didn't say 15. I said between 10 and 12.
Yeah.
Why are you lying?
No,
He could get 10,
yeah, but you
12.
didn't, that's not a big target, is it? 10 or 12.
What's he
and
on?
he
This
takes
is what I'm saying.
penalties.
He
This is what I'm
scored 8 goals, 8 Premier League goals so far.
I'm all right.
With 13, 14 games to go. Has it hit, miss, or maybe?
Maybe.
I'm maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I'm going to say he's doing what he's supposed to do with Arsenal. I think a hit.
Maybe.
By the end of the season, the goals he'll get.
Fingers crossed. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a hit. I'm going to say a hit.
You're less convinced than him about him.
Yeah, because like...
You're a striker for Arsenal.
Yeah,
but he's giving him low expectations. He's playing a mind game.
No, he only said 10 to 12 goals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's giving him a low...
No, but he's on track for that, and he's saying
Of course he's
maybe.
going to be on track for 10 goals for Arsenal.
Yeah, but my point is, he's saying maybe, and he's going to be on track for what he said he would do.
Yeah, because if we're going to judge him by goals, you could probably say,
What do you judge a striker by?
Judge him by everything what he's bringing to the...
What do you judge a striker by?
Goals.
Ian Rush, all these goals.
Right, goals. But what
Harry
I'm saying
Kane,
is, up to
Harry-
this point, the goals he's scored and the goals he's scored, the
You're
goals
not against
against...
performance levels, are you?
At the moment, not really, no.
Were you bothered about yours if you scored goals?
Yeah.
You were bothered about your hold of play, link up play?
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, because like as it went on, Roy, I realised how important it is the link
But
up.
when you
lose the ball,
but if you're in your first season at a club, like your first game at Arsenal, when you're learning your game, you think, I've got to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
The link up play will come the next year or two when I get used to my teammates around me.
Yeah, but I did that at Arsenal. I didn't have to worry about the link up because I did score the
Told
goals.
me your first year, you were George Graham's giving out you every day of the week.
You know what I mean?
What would you?
I'm just like, he's just somebody that I think that as long as we can finish it off next year, will come stronger because he knows what he's
So you
on.
maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. Liam Delap. We all said at the start of the season we weren't sure how he would do, I think. He's got 1 goal in 17 appearances. Obviously, he was injured for a period as well. 8 of them as a sub.
Saw him playing right wing. Right wing.
Yeah, that wasn't... When he put him right wing,
I was feeling
that game against Arsenal, I was like, oh my God, that's never going to work. You're never going to score a goal while he's there. But you can maybe make it more difficult for Arsenal, and they did that for a...
He's really, at the moment, he's obviously lacking confidence, and he lacks real quality, doesn't he?
He came on in a game... I can't remember. It was that.
So he's only a young kid.
And I thought it was a real handful in a game I watched, and he came
handful's
on.
not enough now.
It was a bad move. Honestly, I'm not...
You're not like it, Jay?
No, to Chelsea. I just think young players, when they're on a journey getting better, this idea that the jump for me from Ipswich to Chelsea is too big. Massive. You need something in the middle. Right. Everton or playing centre forward for Everton every game and knowing, even if you have a few bad games or you're injured, you're going to play again. He's never sure if he's going to play a change. Even if he starts,
you are very good.
Sometimes the jump is too big. You need that little bit in the middle.
So I would say,
we're not writing the kid. He's only young.
Yeah,
it's been a miss in Chelsea.
It's a miss, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Next one, Brian Mbeumo. At the start of the season, everyone said that he would be a hit. He's got 9 Premier League goals, 2 assists, 21 games.
I think he's brilliant.
Yeah,
he's so physical, isn't he? Like powerful.
You know, Ange saying that he would have took him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He always looked dangerous.
Every manager would have took him,
Yeah, would have took him.
I would have took Messi to Ipswich. What do you hear these managers going, I was interested in that player. What are you? We all were.
It's just that he really
I know, but...
He really has...
We know Ange's got to come back on for a bit.
I know Ange. I just told me an Ange manager go, I was interested. I thought Harry Kane was going to be a good player. You don't say it, do you? Wow.
Do you have to ask you a question now? If you think about it with Mbeumo, he actually, to be fair, probably for Chelsea, probably for Arsenal, he'd been better for those clubs than the ones they've ended up with. Although I think João Pedro's done quite well. I think Mbeumo for Arsenal would have been a sensation, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, when you see how he plays, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
it was a good signing for United. I think he's a solid one.
He's
I like him a lot.
You know when someone signs,
he's not as old as you think.
He's good.
No, he looks
it's the same with someone like Semenyo. You see Semenyo and you think to yourself, could see him at hours. Could see him Mbeumo at hours as well.
Just sign everybody.
Just sign everyone.
This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Arm Clothing. Okay, Šeško, start of the season, Roy, Jill, write it, and Jamie said not sure. He scored 6, he'll probably, is it 6 Premier League goals or it's 7 now after last night?
Ask co-pilot.
Look at Gary.
How many goals?
Isn't it weird? We praise strikers now for that. When back in the day, lads were getting 20, 30 goals.
That's what I said.
You know, that thing about like saying, 10 goals and that you're happy with 10 goals. It's like,
if someone's cost 70 or 8 and take penalties.
I'd be disappointed if I didn't have that by the end of November.
How many goals has Šeško scored in the EPL?
Midfield,
I need my voice recognition on this. He scored 6. Right. So
definitely.
I'm going to say maybe.
Yeah, of course, he's a maybe at the moment.
There's a confusion for me in the sense that sometimes his performances look like he looks very scruffy when balls get played into him. But the 2 goals he scored against Fulham and last night,
beautiful.
They're serious goals, those.
Yeah.
That goal last night's a serious goal.
It's a beautiful goal. I was saying it to Roy, but Roy's saying, he's meant to score.
No,
it's
Roy.
the way the boy came across, and he's just a little, and he just guided it in.
That's one of the...
Why do you only talk to Righty about strikers?
Go on then, tell me what you thought that goal.
Nice finish, but sorry, but isn't that what he's supposed to do, if you know what I mean?
I'm tired
coming off the bench, they're chasing the game, and they score a goal, and everyone, United expectation, you're like Ryanair. If a flight's on time, everyone's fucking laughing and joking, but usually you're going to be 2 hours late. And then every time, everyone thinks that's the norm.
Yeah, but we know that...
Oh my God.
Flying on Ryanair in a couple of hours.
I flew with Ryanair Sunday, 2 hours late. No one was even arguing because this is what we expect. It's like, you've low expectations.
No, the finish was good enough for you to notice. That's all it is. Yes, it is his job. Of course it is. But he made it look easy the way he done it. It was a bloody
good like Ryanair. And you know when you land, and they play the music. Landed on time. Šeško and United. That's what you're supposed to do.
Did you get that?
Right, I'm going to object to that a little bit because nothing to do with Ryanair.
Object on you.
Go on.
But Šeško, right, that goal he scored last night, ordinarily, and we all watch a lot of football matches, I would see that goal scored 1 in 25 from that position ahead of the near post with that little... I wouldn't see that taken, that chance, very often. It'd either be saved or he'd miss past the near post.
Because he guided it. It wasn't like blasted.
That's meant to do. That's because you got low expectation. He's a striker. I've seen the goal. I think it's a lovely finish.
When you watch the way he done it,
he done it. Everyone's getting carried away because it was an equaliser in India. But if you analyse, going, that's what's...
I thought it was an exception.
It's an exception.
He could have every week.
Okay,
One player.
It could be a hit.
Okay, Šeško, maybe.
Maybe.
But I
He's still not in the
I think he
United
will.
team. Have the Man United spent
Can I say that?
70
I
million
think he'll
on
be a
striker and he
hit.
doesn't get in the
I think he'll
team.
be a hit.
You think no, now I'm
Now he's winning.
Now?
He's not at the moment. He's
Now.
got 6 goals.
So maybe now.
Gyökeres has a maybe, and he's got fucking 8 goals.
Okay.
So of course he's going to be a maybe.
This one, start of the season, Gary Gill and João Pedro, Gary Gill and Ian said hit. Roy and Jamie weren't so sure. João Pedro scored 10 goals, 4 assists in 26
It's a
Premier League.
hit.
I think he's a hit.
He's
Yeah,
a hit.
yeah.
I think he's very
We
good.
did it, Gal.
What did you
Them two
say?
need to get themselves going a
I
bit.
said, what, maybe.
You said basically you weren't sure.
He weren't sure.
He is a hit.
That's fine.
I know, but
It's okay to
the
be
big
wrong
goals,
sometimes.
you get important goals.
It's okay.
Sometimes you ain't the goal.
Is there a Ryanair
It's okay
analogy
if you're not
somewhere?
right.
Don't worry if you don't get it right. It's okay.
He's Aer Lingus. Yeah.
He's Aer Lingus. João Pedro's Aer Lingus.
Roy was gutted. He's like,
Sometimes you get things wrong in life. It's
we get it
okay.
right, Jill.
Yeah, but sometimes how important these goals are.
Yeah.
These strikers
It's
get
true, it's true.
sometimes lads get goals where you're already 2 or 3-0 up. Were they big goals they got last
Now,
night?
but come on,
2-2 home to Leeds.
Sesko's, come on. The one at
Chelsea are fifth. We're praising
The one at
Chelsea.
West-
They
was
got
it the
winning
West
league
Ham?
title. Chelsea and United expectations are so low. They'll celebrate getting in the top 4 or 5. That's their
Sesko's.
aim.
Sesko's last 2 have won 3 points, to
Yeah.
be fair.
I'm on about him.
I think it was a brilliant point for United last
Yeah.
night.
Of course you're going to say that. You're a cheerleader for him. You and Jim Ratcliffe, fucking draw at West Ham. It's amazing. That's my point.
Right.
There's no pressure on this United team.
Because they played badly last night. I didn't think they played well. Just last night, I couldn't get. They were deeper last night than they should have been. You know what I mean? The gaps were too big between the front and the back. I thought they didn't pass it quickly enough out of the back. I thought
West Ham have won 6 games. 6 games won. They draw West Ham. 6.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there going, you thought it was a good draw, and that's fine.
They've improved,
If you see
though.
that
felt for West
success,
Ham.
good luck to you.
What did you think last night when they scored late on? You always
Oh,
say
you take it all day, get something out of the game.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
That's what I thought.
But not to be all giddy.
Yeah, but you
I'm
can
not kidding.
see West. You can see.
You just said, oh,
did you
good,
see it?
good play.
Yeah, yeah.
West Ham just got
badly.
deeper and deeper. I was saying,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
get too deep. Don't
Who's that?
West
Why
Ham,
do
they
teams
start getting
do
deeper.
that?
They got
It's a United
nervous.
team. There's no expectation at United. No expectation.
Righty, do you know something?
This team can't. They don't imagine when they're under pressure and trying to win a league title. We see how good they are then.
Yeah,
that'd be different.
just quickly, just on West Ham last night. So, right, no, seriously, West Ham, forget Manchester United for 1 second. West Ham last night, I was watching the game, you're there late on. You see the chance just before Sesko's, which is Xerxes' header that goes past the post,
gosh,
right?
yeah.
And you watch those defenders drop to the edge of the 6-yard box,
Totally.
and actually Xerxes is probably 2 or 3 yards away from them, like he's on the penalty spot.
Yeah, he came into it.
Yeah. How's
that miss?
To me, that was the easiest thing I felt as a defender in the last part of a game. We literally would definitely shift up as far as we could there to leave that gap. I see so many teams drop that extra 3 or 4 yards, and then the Sesko goal and the Xerxes chance. That doesn't happen.
They could have
Yeah, but
lost
if they're
it.
not
There was
winning
a
many
point in the game.
games.
In the game, there was they got a corner. So I'm watching, obviously desperate to West Ham. So I'm thinking, this is the 90th minute. There's 7 added on. I thought it's too early to keep it in the corner. So you put the corner in. Then they got another one on the other side. If you remember, I think it was about 92, and they kept it short.
Yeah.
And then Man United got a throw in. So you're thinking, lock them in as you would do.
Yeah.
Man to man. You don't let them out. They throw it to the goalie. And then the camera shot goes out, you know, so it's on the thrower. Then it goes big, the camera shot. And you just see all the West Ham players just running back. The ball's there. They're just all running back to the edge of the fucking box. I'm screaming at the telephone.
Where you going? Where you going?
They're just all running the fucking balls.
They're so scared. They're just desperate to win.
West Ham could have gone 2-0 up though. That Callum Wilson change of pace, I was like, wow.
Yeah, but
They should have gone 2-0 up.
Euro made 2 good challenges, by the way, in the
Yeah,
last few
really
minutes.
good.
That was a good
Yeah,
block. Yeah,
yeah.
2 good blocks.
He
Yeah.
Because
made 2 good blocks.
I thought he'd
It's his
left
job,
Callum
though. Is it- but
Wilson. I
isn't
thought
that
he'd
what he's
left
meant to
him
do,
too
Roy?
late.
I don't know.
But then when he went, it was good time.
We all have different
Really good.
expectations in life. Holidays, cars.
You're all making
partners.
tackles.
Everyone gets carried away with somebody doing something
Gary's
amazing.
Gary's changed.
Well,
He's-
don't listen to me.
But it shows good team morale and that they're getting them goals last minute to get a point.
Yeah.
I don't
It's easy
think.
when you're chasing a game, girl.
No, but I
It's
don't
easy
think
to
Man
chase a game.
United
You don't
a few
get in a
months
position
ago
where you're not
wouldn't have
chasing games
scored
all the
that
time.
goal.
Carrick effect. It's the Carrick
Would they have
effect.
scored that goal a few months ago? I don't think so.
The one thing that I, to be fair, become immensely frustrated with, it's nothing to do with the game last night, Steve, is that you see what would be a sort of quite mundane block or a clearance from a corner,
course, high
and there is
fives
4 high fives from each player. That is fucking bollocks, that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
not
Excuse
having
my
high
language.
fives?
No, I'm fuming with that. Do you know something?
I think Diaz did one last night.
Liverpool on Saturday, I think it was Liverpool, was it City? It was City, actually, on Saturday. Donnarumma, to be fair, has pulled them out Mire a lot with punches. He's punched like nearly 10 balls out for them. And I can't remember who it was, did a flick on it at the back post and did something. It was a good clearance, well done. And they've got a corner to defend and the high five in, and you've got a corner to defend. If I've got a corner to defend, I'm thinking, we're in trouble here a little bit. We need to be on, what's going to happen? We could concede a goal. You're not high-fiving. And that's not old school, that, by the way. That is absolutely right. You cannot, if you're doing this and you've got a corner to defend, that is not right.
It's the
when fullbacks, when a cross comes in, the fullback's on his own, you think he can clear it, but he gives a cheap corner away. And he turns around, he's like, no one's speaking to me. No one's supposed to speak to you. You're supposed to be aware of what's going wrong with you. Hey, no one speak to me. Just clear it that way.
You used to snap, didn't you, if a player on the pitch was doing that talk to me?
Just be aware of what's going on around you.
The reason being is, to be fair, it's for the crowd. It's actually a good point.
It's all for the crowd,
No one told me there was a man on it.
It's a good point. That was Roy's point back in the day, because he used to say, if the crowd are singing, you won't hear me anyway. You can't hear anything on a football pitch if the crowd are singing or if there's a big atmosphere. So talking actually is irrelevant if people are 15, 20 yards away from you.
But if the ball comes in at this angle, the goals, and they kind of kick it out that way. It's actually easier. I know it might be on your week, but just kick it that way. They give no, I didn't know who was behind me. Be aware who's behind you. Watch all players do that. No one told me.
That's for the fans.
I have to make that decision, lads.
I used to feel like some people that spoke on the football pitch were speaking more for them and their game sometimes. Was it?
That can happen,
yeah,
of course.
It's like goalkeepers.
Yeah, for your concentration.
Keep me concentrated.
Do you know something? There's one thing, Jill, I've just said about talking's a bit of irrelevance on the football pitch, but it is quiet. I do think, to be fair, Rio, to be fair to him, was one of them, don't go quiet. Because if you go quiet as a defender...
I wish you'd go quiet now.
On that note, we'll end.